Okay, I'm going live. I'm gonna get stuff set up so that I can invite people over. Oh, apparently I unlocked the community posts thing. That is very handy. That means I can start actually letting you guys know if I end up deciding to change over my days, because this week I had to change the day I was working on. So, anyway, I'm gonna quickly go ahead and share my stream. Where do I gotta go? I gotta go over here. All sorts of out of it today. This is not where I need to be. I need to be on this one. This is where I gotta be. Haha! I figured it out. All right. Cool. So we are gonna share this. We're gonna share that. Go. And now I'm gonna go to my Discord. And I'm going to share it in our sprints. And hopefully other people that are looking to join in can join in. So, yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so if you are here, say hello. Tell me what's going on. Yeah, it's been a very nice weekend. I did not end up streaming yesterday because I was out all day until like 8:30, 8:45. So I was going to be late for sprints. Hello, how are you? And Social Butterfly, love it, love the name. Hope you're doing well. I ended up basically being out yesterday until like almost 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, I don't have the time or the energy after my day to do sprints, so I decided to reschedule it for today. So for those of you that are going to be new, we are going to be going for about 4 hours worth of time. We'll start the first sprint here probably 10 minutes after the hour. So yeah, we'll be going on till about 5 o'clock p.m. my time, which might be different for some of you, but it's about 4 hours worth of sprints. Crave by Tracy Wolff. I have heard some pretty mixed things about that. What do you think about this book? Because I have heard a lot of people say that it is very similar to Twilight in a lot of ways, but it might be more intense than Twilight was. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Also, I apologize for how white everything is here. I can do nothing about it. This is literally how this room is during the day. With the sun. The blinds are closed, like this one's closed. The one that's right here next to me is closed. This is just how the sun comes into this room, unfortunately. But yeah, what do you think about Crave? I've kind of heard iffy things. Like some people love it, some people don't. And I think specifically the people that love it are the people who love like the Twilight series. And I'm not a big fan of them, so I don't know how I would get on with Crave in particular. And I'm officially out of coffee, which is very sad. Getting Twilight vibes, but just on page 72. Okay, so yeah, that's what like I said, I've heard a lot of people say that it's similar to Twilight in the respect that it's got very similar vibes. Even the covers, like I feel like the cover of the first book was definitely like a choice that was made so that people would come to it with Twilight vibes. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that could have not been thought of. So, all right. So, for those of you, give me 1 second. I got to get my stuff that's over here on my mess of a side desk. I apologize. There it is. All right. So, knocked my table. So, okay. So you agree. Yeah. Feel like I'm not the only person that said that on more than one occasion, but you know. Anyway, so if you are at all new to how I do reading sprints, it's not really that much of a different kind of way to do reading sprints. I'm not the person that necessarily came up with this, but we basically are doing what are called D12 dice sprints. So if any of you are familiar with the booktuber Becca and the Books, you will know that she does her Bookopoly TBR every month. And she has a readathon that also is surrounding around Bookopoly. And on occasion, during the readathon and outside of it, she will basically take the 2 6-sided die that she uses for Bookopoly, rolls them, and multiplies the number she gets by 5, and that is how long the sprint is. Basically, I'm doing the same thing, except instead of using 2 6-sided die, I'm using 1 12-sided die. So I've got 12 here, and it goes all the way down to 1, which is right here. So the thing that I do, though, is I don't really have us ever do 5-minute sprints, because I don't think that that really gives anybody a good enough opportunity to feel like they've got anything done with their book. So I don't do any 5-minute sprints, because basically it's the same thing where whatever number comes up, I multiply by 5. We get that long of a sprint. So the smallest sprint we will do is 10 minutes if I roll a 2, and then the longest we will do if we roll a 12 is going to be a full hour. So I do have timers set up. I have timers picked out for each of the increments that we'll be working with. So it's pretty simple. If you're new to reading sprints at all, essentially the idea is that you just sit for a focused amount of time to read. Some people may be doing other things, which is totally fine. I think of these as a lot of times as more productivity sprints, because sometimes people don't have the ability to read right then and there, but they do have other things they need to do, and they want to like be involved with the sprints because it gives them that focused amount of time to work on something. So feel free to do anything besides reading with this if you would like. If you've got to do some writing, homework, chores, whatever actual work, like if you work, on a Sunday, which I really hope you don't, because that's kind of sad to me. But some people can't get away with not working on weekends. So, but yeah, if you have any kind of focused tasks you need to do for a certain amount of time, I hope that these will help. So with that being said, we got a couple minutes until our first sprint. I'm going to go grab another drink real quick because my coffee is gone. And we will get started soon. Hello, Thrifty Simplicity. Good to see you today. Hope you're doing well. I will be right back. I'm going to go grab a drink, and I'll tell you guys what I'm working on today, okay? Just hold your horses. Hold your horses. Okie dokie. All right. And I would go out and bring Oscar in here, who is my little puppy, for those of you that don't know. But he's currently napping out in the living room with my husband. My husband is playing games with some friends, and Oscar is sleeping in his bed. So I'm going to leave him be. He might come in here at some point. I don't know. When he does, we'll have him say hello. But for now, he's going to stay out there. Okay, so what am I working on today? You can see down here with my name, I'm working on The Talisman, which is a book by Stephen King and Peter Straub. On my channel, some of you, if you've been around for a little bit, may have heard me talking about this, but I've been working on reading chronologically Stephen King's work in terms of publication for the last, I want to say going on 2 years. I think it's been about 2 years or so. And this is the one I'm working on for February. This is the first book that Stephen King ever co-wrote with somebody in terms of like his publication history. And this is the first book in a duology. So I will be reading the second book here for March. And so far I am over 100 pages into it. I'm actually almost 200 pages into it. I'm on page 174 and I like it. It's definitely very interesting. It has a lot of Dark Tower vibes. For those of you that are fans of the Dark Tower, and you've not read this, it has very similar vibes to it in the sense that it's following a very kind of epic fantasy kind of story, but it also has like multiple universes involved with it, which I would not be surprised if somewhere in King's work this is considered to be part of the Dark Tower world, because a lot of the things that they talk about within this universe, I think, could play very well into the Dark Tower world. So really interested in this. It basically follows a kid who's trying to save his mother who has cancer, but it turns out that there is a separate world that's basically like a parallel to our world, where there's a woman who is what's considered his mother's twinner, or like a twin of sorts. And she is also dying, and she's the queen of this world. And in order to save his mother, he has to save this queen. And that's kind of the idea that's going on with this book. So really interested so far in it. I really like it. But we're going to go ahead and do our first roll, since it is now 10 after the hour. We're going to get started with our first sprint. So let's see what we end up getting. Remember, we are not doing any 5-minute sprints. We're only doing 10 up to an hour. We're doing 10-minute sprints up to an hour sprints. All right, let's see. And of course, we roll a 1. The first roll we get is a 1. Not happening. Let's see what else we get. Okay, there we go. So actually a pretty easy one. So we rolled a 5, which means that we're going to do a 25-minute sprint to start off. Pretty good warm-up. Hopefully you get some good work in. Thrifty says that they're planning to read and complete chores. Yay! Okay, cool. Hopefully this 25 minutes will get you to get those chores done so that you can start reading. I would love to see that. So I'm going to quickly pull up my 25-minute timer. I've got a nice little one that's basically just like, a kind of countdown with a beach. But I have muted the sound because I don't want YouTube coming after me about using sounds of other people's videos. So I'm going to mute myself, though. If people say anything in the chat, I will get to it after the sprint, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. 25 minutes of reading. Have fun, everybody. Get some good work in. Or if you're doing chores and stuff, hopefully you get your stuff done in the next 25 minutes. Let's go. Okay, folks, that has been 25 minutes of reading. Good job, everybody. Hope that went super well for you. Hello, Susie. I'm so glad to see you today. Glad you can make it. I know that the last few sprints have been pretty late, so like you're usually in bed by then and you're going to be heading to bed probably soon, but I didn't end up having time yesterday to do sprints, so we're doing them today. So hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing okay. How much did you guys get read during that time? I got about 24 pages. Yeah, 24 pages read because I started about, 24, 23. I started technically at the beginning of a chapter, which was page 175, I think. So I think I read like 23 pages, which is not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Oh, goodness. I'm very tired. It has been a very long few weeks for me, truthfully. And yesterday I was out very late, so I am just exhausted. Listen to a chapter and a half while cleaning the bathroom. Nice. Awesome job. Happy to be here listening to my audiobooks and not sure how much I got done. Fair enough. Okay. Cool. What are you guys reading, Thrifty and Susie? What are you guys reading today? I'm working on The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. And I'm cresting 200 pages. I'm almost to the 200-page mark. So I'm about a quarter of the way done with this, which is crazy. Read a few chapters. Awesome. Good to hear, Anne. Oh, goodness. My nose is like acting up so bad because of my allergies, and I hate it. I hate this time of year. This time of year, like, is the worst mentally for me because my allergies tend to get super bad because it's the transition for me between winter and spring. So my body does not like it. Listening to Tripla by Stair Karen, a thriller. Cool. All right. Never heard of it, but glad you're liking it so far. Well, I hope you're liking it at least. I don't know how far you're into it, but Reading Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen and 7 Days in June. 7 Days in June. Okay. I don't think I've heard of either of those, but I'm one of those kids where my grandparents used to sing Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, kind of a joke, like as a joke, like growing up. So I didn't know that was the name of a book too. Hope that it's good. I hope that they're enjoyable. All right. So we'll take a break for a couple of minutes. We'll start up again at the 45-minute mark. And so we got about 5 minutes. So everybody take a quick break. Make sure to stretch. Make sure to have some kind of beverage, hydrating. I'm drinking one of the sparkling ice flavored sparkling waters. This one's strawberry watermelon. These are super yummy. Super, super good. But it's like 0 sugar, so it's like much better. It's okay. No, Karen Slaughter, but easy enough for when you're tired. Yeah. Yeah, Karen Slaughter, I really, really seem to like her books a lot. I've only read a few of them, but all of the ones I've read, I think were at least a 4-star. I think my favorite of hers so far, gosh, I think it's The Good Daughter. I think that one was my favorite. Actually, let me look at my Goodreads because now I'm not sure. I know I've only read a few of her books. Like I haven't read all of them, but I don't remember what exactly I've rated everything. So let's go ahead and check my Goodreads. There we go. Share it. Let's see. We'll do by author. All right, and it went from Z. So next page. Just started reading her books, but loving them so far. I think that like she's a really good author to like get into thrillers with because it's pretty much all that she exclusively writes. I just really seem to like her. Okay, so I've read Cold, Cold Heart, which, okay, that was a 3-star. So not everything's been a 4-star or higher, but read that one. Cop Town I really liked. Yeah, The Good Daughter was also 5 stars. Both Cold Cold Heart and Blonde Hair Blue Eyes, I think, are short stories. I don't even remember what this one was about, to be honest. Like, that one is like the one I don't remember. But Blonde Hair Blue Eyes is like about a serial kidnapper and killer who specifically targets women with blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh yeah, Pieces of Her. I really like that one too. This one was really interesting. Oh man. I think Pieces of Her might be my favorite of hers that I've read so far. Because, like, I loved The Good Daughter a lot. Sorry, my mom is texting me. I read the Good Daughter, and I really, really liked it. But Pieces of Her had, like, this whole thing about it that was just so very different from what I'd seen before. Because it's basically about a woman who, oh my God, why is my mom texting me so much? Oh no! Oh crud! Oh. My mom just texted and said that my parents' basement has ankle deep water throughout it. And my sister has some of her stuff in the basement because she was living down in the basement for a while. Like, she decided to move her bedroom down there. My sister has books in the freaking basement. Oh my gosh. Oh man. And I just saw them yesterday. I really hope a pipe didn't burst. Oh crap. All right. Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That's great to find out. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Really enjoying Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. Is like therapy, really enjoying it. Written by a therapist. Oh, so it's a nonfiction. Is it like a memoir of sorts, or like a psychology-based book kind of thing? Because I love those. I love those books so much. Those are really good. Have to disagree about Karen Slaughter. My worst book of 2021 was The Silent Wife. Okay, I've not read that one, so I don't know whether or not I would like it. I do think I've heard that one was not a favorite, even for the Karen Slaughter lovers. I think that was the case. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. But I really liked Pieces of Her because this one, like, it's basically about a woman who she goes to this restaurant with her mother, I think, and she gets shot by this random person. They just decide to hold up the restaurant, and you find out over the course of the story that, or no, it was with her daughter. She was with her daughter. You find out over the course of the story that she used to be this secret agent of sorts. Like, I don't think she was a CIA agent, but she was some kind of a special operative person. And so she's got this really dark history with it. I really enjoyed it because I thought that it was just very different. Like, the way that they brought it up was kind of out of left field, and I went into it not knowing anything about it. So I really had a good time with it. And like, you learn about what she did in the past and like how exactly like her life was affected by her job that she had at that time. So it was just really, really fun. Basically about the emotional lives of Black women. I think it's meant to promote therapy in the Black community. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I will have to check that out. I will add that to my wish list. Thank you for that, because I want to read more things that are like that are about, experiences of people other than white people. I'm always looking for new stuff like that, so I will definitely have to check that out. But yeah, so please send like good vibes to my family, because I don't know how bad. Like, ankle deep water is not something that's unfamiliar with my parents' basement, and we've had a few floods every now and then because like pipes burst. And when I was a kid, we used to have like rain come and like flood the basement every now and then. I don't know what must have happened. It must have been that a pipe burst, because the last time the basement got flooded a few years ago, that's what happened. I don't have anything of importance there anymore because I'm pretty sure everything that was important to me is now like here with me. But my sister has a lot of her stuff down there still because when she comes home, she can't take all of her stuff back up to her old bedroom. I don't know if they have flood insurance because my parents' house is a little weird. It's not a trailer home by any means, but I'm trying to think of the way that you had to describe it to me because basically getting insurance for this house was like really weird when they had it built. But it's kind of one of those things where it's considered a trailer home because the layout of it is similar to that. And it's supposed to be something that you would be able to kind of pick up and move anywhere, I think. And so insurance is really weird with this house. So I don't know if they have that. I have never known that. And I don't think we've ever had anything to do with flood insurance beforehand. I could be entirely wrong. I have no idea. But like my sister's got books down there that are hers that either were gifts or whatever. So my mom's going to try to salvage what she can. And hopefully if they are water damaged, it's not going to be like it's only part of them. And so it's not going to be too bad. But that really sucks because like my parents still have stuff down in that basement that's like not like super important, but there's stuff down there that like my parents will use. Like there's Christmas stuff down there. There's some furniture down there. Like my sister's bed and stuff is moved up to her old bedroom, but during the summer she would like to be down there, like because it's colder. Hey Destiny, working on some writing sounds good. Sorry, I got some bad news that I've been like during stream. My parents' basement basically flooded, so it's not good. But I'm like, it's not like I said, it's not anything I have to worry about particularly because my stuff is pretty much all here. And anything that is still there, it's not super important to me to where like it's gonna be devastating for me to lose. I just feel really bad for my parents and my sister though, because like they've still got a lot of stuff down there that's like important to them. Like I said, my sister doesn't have a lot of room in her bedroom to have like her bookshelves up there. So like a ton of her books are gonna be like damaged. At least the ones that are like on the bottom shelves. So it wouldn't be like all of them, thank God, but I would hope that there are at least ones that she's already read that could be replaced. But man, God, that's the worst thing to see. Like when you're in the middle of something like this, where like you're doing like a stream and you get really, really bad news. And honestly, it seems like for my parents, it's one thing after the other. Like there's always something wrong going on. So hopefully they get that figured out soon. I feel really bad that I can't do anything right now to help them with that, but hopefully they can get the water out because that's going to be a project in and of itself. Anyway, all right. We're going to move on from that for right now. If it ends up being that they need me to come help, I will be doing so. So I'm not saying anything right now, but it is possible I may have to cut stream short just because I don't know what's going on. But please send your good vibes and prayers and anything you can, like thought-wise toward my parents because that's rough. That's not the first time it's happened, but it is definitely something that is not, they definitely don't need that right now. They really don't need that right now. So anyway, all right, guys, let's go ahead. I was going to start this a few minutes ago, but we'll start the next sprint in about 4 minutes, and I'll go ahead and roll for what we're going to do. I appreciate that. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if my mom's going to call me and be like, can you guys come and help us? Because my grandparents live next door, so like they could come over and help. I have family in town because I live like 40 minutes away. So it's not like impossible for me to get over there if I need to. But like my sister lives 2+ hours away from my parents. So there's like almost, and she's in school. So there's almost no way for her. Like she could drive down and drive back today, but it would be a major inconvenience for her. So my parents would not really ask her to come all the way out there. But if I have to go, I probably will if I can have my husband watch Oscar, or we might take him. I don't know, because we like to take him to my parents' house anyway. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I get a call from her during stream and she's asking me to go, I'll go. But I'm gonna hold off on doing anything until she tells me if she needs me, because I don't know. Like, is it gonna be too many people? Like, can they handle it by themselves? I don't know. And I'm like already like my anxiety is just like whoop. So fun times. All right. So this time we roll a 3. There it is. So smaller sprint this time. We're going to do 15 minutes, and I've got timers all pulled up. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' thoughts, and I definitely hope things get figured out soon. I think I'm going to give her a call, though, during this sprint and just see what's going on, because I know I just said I'll wait for her to call me, but I already feel like that's a bad idea. I should at least give her a call and see if she's okay. Oh, she's probably downstairs freaking out now, so it probably would be good for her to hear from me. So, all right, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Oh, by the way, in better news, there was some good news that I found out today. I now have the ability to make community posts. So in the future, because like this weekend was a bit wonky in terms of the fact that I couldn't stream last night and I was going to today, in the future, I should now be able to put out community posts for you guys for when, if like I have to reschedule the sprints. So that is super exciting for me, because seriously, yesterday I was out with my mom and my sister, and I realized that I wasn't going to get home until closer to 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, man, I got to reschedule. I wish I could like just be able to tell the people that come and hang out that I wasn't going to be able to stream tonight, but that I would be able to tomorrow. Because I kind of just changed the stream time while I was out, but didn't really have the ability to just be like, hey guys, like we're not going to be able to do this today. But I found out literally right before I started the live that I had that ability, that I unlocked the ability to make community posts. So if for some reason a sprint does not go according to plan, you guys will know. You will all know. If you're subscribed, you'll see the posts come up in your feeds, especially if you use YouTube on like your mobile devices. They don't show up really on desktop unless you go to the channel itself. I don't know if there is an option for you to like see it, like you can't see it in your subscription page on desktop, but if you're like on mobile, you will be able to see it as part of your feed. So that's really exciting. I'm really happy to hear that, because that makes my life feel a lot easier when I like have to push something back, like sprints or something. So anyway, all right, it is 5 to the hour, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna give my mom a call and figure out how things are going. So 15 minutes for you guys of reading. I will be muting my mic. If people again come into the chat, just we'll talk about them and with them when the sprint is done. But have a good 15 minutes of reading, everybody. Let's go. Okay, guys, that was 15 minutes. Obviously, I did not read that entire time. I had called my mother, left her a voicemail, and hopefully she called me back soon. Okay. My anxiety is going a little bit high right now, which doesn't need to be, but it is just what happens. So I'm going to try to kick that out just for a little bit. So if you guys see me go off screen at all from here on out, she's calling me back. So there's that. But, all right, how'd you guys do that round? How much did you get read? Curious to know. What are you guys thinking so far? We'll get the next sprint started here in a couple minutes. We'll start at about 15 after. So, what do we think of what we're reading so far, now that you've had a total of 40 minutes worth of reading? Oh, excuse me. So I've been doing a lot of prepping for my March TBR. The books you see here are part of the ones I still want to read for this month. And I have a little bit more than a week, I should say. Read 2 chapters. Nice job, Anne. 2% read, 8% to go. Susie, do you mean 20 and 80%? I'm very confused. Very confused. It's okay. Still figuring out how many pages. Listen while washing some dishes. Nice. You're really getting those chores done. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Close to the 100-page mark. Nice. Got an entire guide written. Awesome. Nice job. Love to hear it. So yeah, anyway, I'm doing some prepping basically for March. I've got a lot of stuff planned in terms of I'm going to be partaking in 2 different readathons. One is Greek Godathon, which I think is over the entire course of March. And then I'm also going to be partaking in the Aurelium Mini Magical Readathon, the week-long one that G from Book Roast had posted a video for a couple days ago. And then I have my normal TBR stuff that I have done. Somehow, you guys, I don't know what I did, but I somehow managed to get everything I wanted to read for book clubs, for my D20 stuff that I do. Listen to 2% in the last 15 minutes, so now I'm at 92% of the book. Got it. Okay, I was very confused. I apologize. But yay, you're almost done. That's awesome. But yeah, so I have 4 different sticky notes here because I have basically the books I'm reading that involve my friend Princess, who you guys would know if you're around here, Castle Library. She does a lot of stuff. Yay, you're partaking in Aurelium too, Susie. Oh, I'm so excited. I have 2 books that I'm reading specifically with Princess because she has a book club that she's starting up for March where there's a book we're reading for that. I'm also partaking in the read-along she's doing of the Brandon Sanderson books. So we're going to start with The Final Empire with that. Really excited for those. But for Greek Godathon, I managed to get all the books I already wanted to read that were part of reading series or what I was already planning to read with book clubs and stuff for that. And then a couple other things that I was and then a couple other things that were for my D20 TBR, my Wheel of D20 TBR I do. Somehow I managed to basically get everything to work within itself. So I feel very, very happy with that. I even was able to get the books I needed to for Mini Magical Readathon because I have 3 prompts that I have to read for that week. I managed to get 3 books that are all books I was already going to be reading for the month thrown into that week. So that makes things very easy for me. I think the only thing that's going to be the challenge is the timing of some of the books because, like I said, with Mini Magical Readathon, I can only read those books during that week. So I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out with everything. I think I'm going to have to avoid doing the page count idea of like so many pages per day in March because I feel like that's not going to work with the fact that I've got that readathon partway through the month. So I don't know how that's going to work. But either way, I managed to get a bunch of stuff on here. So I've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10 books total planned for March. I think that's right. 10 books. So that's exciting. 86% of nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Want to start the current chapter over to retain the self-care tips. Good idea. I love that idea. That sounds amazing. Fortunately, I still have more dishes to wash next sprint. Fair. That's more than, yeah. I always, like, I have a dishwasher, so I don't have to, like, hand wash dishes nearly as often, but I still feel like a lot of times there's just always so many to do. Like, I'm every day having to run the dishwasher because we use so much within, like, any given day because, like, I cook dinner, like, every night pretty much. And so the amount of stuff I use to cook dinner with, like, it pretty much all fills up the entire dishwasher. So sorry about that. My husband was right by the door, so I didn't want to, like, have you guys have to hear him because he's on the phone with his friends while they're playing games. So anyway, okay, so, oh crap, it's already past the 15-minute mark. Well, we'll go ahead and figure out what we're going to do for the next sprint. We'll start in a couple minutes. I always seem to run over. I apologize. But this time I will be partaking in the reading. So this time, okay, so we're going to do another 25-minute sprint. We rolled a 5 that time. Want to wash as I cook, but I never do that, seriously. Like, and what sucks, so, like, and for me, like, what I do is I hold off on washing the dishes until, like, the next day. So, like, they fill up in the sink, and it doesn't, like, fill it up ridiculously to where I feel like, oh my gosh, there's, like, dirty dishes sitting there. It's like, I get the dishes ran while I'm on my lunch break, and that way that they're done by the time I go to make dinner in the evening. And then I use up the dishes, throw them in the sink, and then during my lunch break the next day, I will put them in the dishwasher and have them run. Just because that makes it so that I don't overstress. Like, I still get them done every day for the most part, but then, like, you know, I know, like, okay, those are definitely dirty. That means whatever else is in the dishwasher does need to get put away before I actually refill it, because it kind of, like, makes me remember that I only took out what I took out from the dishwasher because it was clean and I actually needed it at that time. But there's some times where I don't use anything that's in the dishwasher currently, but, like, having the dirty dishes in the sink overnight and seeing them the next day when I go to fill the dishwasher reminds me, oh, hey, there's stuff that I actually need to put away too. So kind of it all gets done, like, as my lunch is actually, like, heating up in the microwave as it is. That's how I do it. I know that would probably annoy some people, but it's what works for me. So, all right. So anyway, we're going to do 25 minutes again for our next sprint. And I think I should be able to get through some more of my book. So hopefully I'll definitely get over the 200-page mark. And I'm listening technically on 3 times speed with this, but the audiobook narration by itself is really slow, so it doesn't feel like it's 3 times. It actually feels like it's just listening to it double time. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still able to follow it pretty well. There's some books where 3 times speed, you definitely cannot listen to it. This one in particular, the narration style is very slow starting out. So, like, 3 times speed does not feel like 3 times speed. It feels like it's double time. So anyway, all right, next sprint, 25 minutes. Everybody get your stuff ready and let's get started. Trying to figure out a new norm since having to work in the office versus remotely. And that's, yeah, I gotcha. We'll talk about that after the sprint because I got some thoughts on that too. Okay, guys, that was 25 minutes. All right. Okay, so I was going to talk about this in just a second. So, yeah, hold on. Oh, my husband just sent me this really cute picture of Oscar sleeping in the living room. Hold on. There we go. It's very, very white, but he's sleeping. He's got his paw covering his face. Anyway, so yeah, I got through 33 pages, I think. Oh, hold on, guys. My mom's calling me back. Give me a few minutes. Okay, so scatterbrained. Hold on. Let me get through a couple other things. Oh, Oscar! An Oscar's arrived! Come here, my love. Come here. Oh, goodness. Oh, it's an Oscar! Hi, Bubba. Hi. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Ouch. Say hi to everybody. Say hello. Say hi to everybody. It's my boy. He just woke up from a nap. Hi. It's my buddy. Oh, hi. Hi. Okay. And down we go. I know. You can stay in here if you want. You can stay at my feet. Nope. He's going to go run. Okay. All right. So I'll get to this comment in a second. I'm very scatterbrained, so I apologize. Yes. So 1.5 is typically 2 is what I will read. It depends on the book, but this one, the audiobook, is really slow because I tend to read the audiobook with the physical just because I feel like it gets me involved in the story a little bit more. But the audiobook is really, really slow. So it makes more sense for me to read it at 3 times speed because it's actually still, it feels more like it's at 2 times speed for me. Okay, so finished Nobody Knows Trouble I've Seen While Washing More Dishes. Awesome. Glad to hear that you got a book done. Usually only able to listen up to 2 times speed. I can't imagine 3. Again, it depends on the book for me. Like the narration speed initially is what, it is for me. Like if it's too slow for me at 2 times speed, I can bump it up to 3 and I'm usually pretty okay. Only 3% to go, so I'm going to keep reading and head off to bed. Awesome. Actually, yes, perfect segue. So that was, you guys saw I just talked to my mom on the phone. Apparently the sump pump in the basement failed. That's what happened. I thought a pipe might have burst, but this is actually the most common thing that tends to happen at my parents' house for some reason. Their sump pumps tend to fail, and then it basically just causes a backflow of water to go into the basement, because they basically have this little box, this open box where the sump pump is in the very front, or I guess back corner of the basement. And it basically runs so much that eventually it just dies. And this happens at least once a year, so they have to keep replacing it. And that's basically what's happened. And so my parents said that basically all that they can do is go replace that, get it running, and the cleanup aspect of the basement after that is what's going to be the worst of it in terms of time. I'm trying to think of what all would be safe. I think a lot of the Christmas stuff is safe because it's either high up or it's in the big Rubbermaid totes. My sister's books, I think, are going to be kind of damaged, which kind of sucks, and some of her shelves and stuff. But then there's my mom's old photography stuff that might be damaged, but she doesn't use it anymore anyway. So I think that overall the worst of it's going to be the stuff that already would have been damaged anyway through other times that the basement's flooded. There's some old furniture that nobody uses that we've needed to throw out for a long time that we just haven't. So, but I think for the most part, everything's okay. It happens. It happens. It's always at least once in the winter and once in the summer, the sump pump will fail. So that sucks. 2 times only if it's in Dutch. Finished writing, so now I'll be switching to reading. Still working on the stands, but I'll have it done today. Awesome. That's super exciting. Okay, so I want to go back to this comment because I didn't want to speak on this because I am somebody who works remotely and had to transition beginning of the pandemic from working in an office to working remotely. So this is one of the things I have an issue with sometimes when it comes to working remotely is the divvying up of what is housework that I can do and what is housework I can avoid doing until I get done with work. Because since you're home, you're oh my gosh, I can get all these other things done that I would have to wait to get done until I would get home. Because when I first was working remotely, it was right when the pandemic started, and my commute to and from work at that time was about 40 minutes both ways. So I would drive 40 minutes to work, 40 minutes back. And then the evening would basically be I get home immediately. If I didn't take a shower right after I got home from work, it would be cooking dinner and then trying to get any chores I needed to get done, like cleaning up the apartment we were living in, whatever the case may be. Then for probably about 2 hours or so, I would actually have time to sit and read when I wasn't listening to the audiobooks on my drives or while I was working at the office. But then when I started working remotely, it became this issue where it was oh my gosh, now I have all this time. I can kind of have an excuse to walk away from my desk every now and then to go do something. And so that's always been my struggle. So I totally understand what that new norm thing is. The thing I was able to figure out is that my company that I work for, they actually encourage about every hour you take about 10, 15 minutes for a break. They basically call it an ergonomic break because they don't want you sitting at your desk for too long because it can cause, back, shoulder, arm issues, being at a desk for too long of a time period and, focusing in on work. So they actually encourage us to go and do stuff, to take a break, 10, 15 minute break every hour or so to go walk around, play with, an animal if you can, or go do something to step away from your computer for a little bit and kind of stretch, give yourself the ability to kind of have a mental break. So I definitely take advantage of that. So during my lunch breaks and during my ergonomic breaks that I will take, I will be doing something around the house. And now with Oscar, it is a lot of times taking him outside about every hour, couple hours, because he will sleep pretty much the entire day that I'm home working. So about every hour or so, I definitely have to go take him outside. So that gives me a really good excuse to get up and stretch. So situation is opposite. Oh, forced back into an office, and I've been working remotely for 2 years. Yikes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. So I had a kind of interesting thing with this too, because once I have had to go into the office once in the entire 2 years now almost that I've been working remotely. And this was a few weeks ago. I only had to go in basically because I was needing to move my desk because basically they were trying to kickstart the idea of bringing people back into the office, and not everyone was going to come back, but they were rearranging the seating of where everybody was because some people's teams kind of got combined, or some people were separated into a different team. So they basically had to like rearrange everybody, and my desk moving was kind of going to start that process of getting everybody where they needed to be. So I had to go into the office one day, the entire day. But I live now an hour and a half away from where my office is. And I had already been told by my boss that basically this was like a one-time thing. I don't ever have to really go back into the office unless I absolutely feel like I want to, which I don't. I am not up for driving an hour and a half in the dark to work and then having to drive an hour and a half back, also possibly in the dark, especially during this time of year. So anyway, I go there, and it's the weirdest feeling. Being back in the office for one day, especially when there wasn't really anybody else there, was so weird, because I'm like, I feel like I can't do anything. I genuinely felt like all I could do was sit and work. And this was just before we got Oscar. So I don't even know how this would work, because thankfully I don't ever have to go back into the office again. But trying to imagine, my husband works 5 days a week, same time that I do. So Monday through Friday, he's at work. I'm working as well. So it would be really strange to have to work in the office now, especially with him, because nobody would be able to take care of him. We'd have to throw him over to a friend's house or something, if they were even home, because they're not always, because some of them work, some of them have weird hours where their schedules change week to week. It's bizarre. I can't even imagine having to fully go back to an office of any kind, because my life, the way it is right now, it's not possible. And I feel very grateful. Do not get me wrong. I feel very grateful that I'm able to stay remote, especially because I live so far away. And my office also knows now that I have a puppy that needs to have somebody home. So I feel very fortunate in that. But I will say, the one day I did have to go back, even before Oscar came around, that was the weirdest experience for me. It was just so jarring after having been working from home for 2 years. I can't even imagine how that whole thing must be for you. But I wish you the best of luck, Thrifty. I really do. I hope that it eventually gets better. I'm doing it for 3 weeks and it sucks. There's no social distancing. Oh, and people don't wear masks. Oh, that sucks. That makes it even worse, I think. The fact that people don't even adhere to those kinds of social distancing things. Okay, and I'm not going to say who I work for, but I work for a very, very big company. Been around forever, Fortune 500. I am a contracted employee, but I work for a big company. But they have always been, ever since I started there, for years beforehand, had always been very safety oriented. So when this pandemic hit, they had a ton of regulations, and they haven't really lifted any of them. They might have lifted some things, especially when you've been vaccinated, but they still, to this day, even if you're vaccinated, they require you to wear masks the entire time you're in the office. The only time you're allowed to not wear one is when you're having your lunch. And they have it set up where in the break room area where people go to sit to eat their lunches, it's cordoned off. There's only certain places you're able to sit, because it provides that distance between people. So I really hope that somebody I can't imagine, honestly, being in a work environment where they don't even adhere to the most basic of social distancing protocol, because this isn't going away. The only way it's going to go away is if people actually pay attention to the rules, So I can imagine how stressful that must be, because it boils my blood that people aren't even doing it now. I don't care if you're fully vaccinated and have your boosters or not, be courteous to other people. You don't know how other people are. And especially in a workplace environment where you're having to be close to people like that, it doesn't make sense to not have that protocol set, It's not like you can move that very far without elbowing somebody else. I don't get it. If you have your own office where you can close a door and you're walled in, that is one thing. Keep your mask off until somebody comes into your office. But if you're in my situation where my office is, where it's open, There's not really anything even, there's no cubicle walls of any kind that separate you. Like, be smart, be courteous to the other people that are around you. Like, it doesn't take much to be a decent human being, you know? Anyway, gonna step off my soapbox there, and we're gonna do some more reading. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. We have got another 2 hours left of the sprint. We're about halfway done, so let's go ahead and do our next roll and get right into it. Oh man, you guys. Oh boy. We're in for a nice long one to this time. We rolled a 10 that time. There, a 10. We got 50 minutes of reading, you guys. That should be awesome. Destiny, I hope that this gets you to the end of the stand. I really hope it gets you at least super close. So we're going to do 50 minutes of reading. And this one is a very colorful timer. I hope it's not too trippy for you guys, because good Lord, it's definitely, like, it's a little trippy. Well, I enjoy my weekend now. I just have to balance my chores so they don't get behind. Still looking for a remote position, so in due time. I hope that you do. One tip. So this is something I've learned, especially like after having moved into this house. I have it dedicated where each day is specified to only working in a certain room of the house. I don't remember who I learned this from, but I heard about this through somebody else. It might have honestly been somebody on TikTok. But if you dedicate one day of your week to doing only one particular part of your house, so for me on Mondays, I clean the kitchen, wiping down the counters, the stove, the sink, and sweeping and mopping the floor if I need to. Dedicating one particular day of a week to a room in the house, it's really helped me in a lot of ways. Because for one, what it's done is caused me to not be so controlling of the entire environment. Like the living room doesn't need to be done right away. I can kind of let some of that go because I'm focusing on a different room, right? On Mondays. The next day, on Tuesdays, I take care of the living room, make sure that the couches are, cleaned up, that pot cans are thrown into the basket for returnables, sweeping the floor, making sure the shoes are in order, making sure that the blankets and pillows that are out there, if they don't need to be, go back in the bedroom. There's a ton of stuff that can go on just for one room. So dedicating one particular day to a room has really seemed to help me. I would recommend it if you would like to try it, but it doesn't work for everybody, I know. Just maybe something different to try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's what I try to do. Okay, so this is the timer we have. It is very colorful, but it's also a motion one, so I hope it doesn't cause anybody to have any kind of visual, being like, whoa, that's too much. If it is, I apologize, but I thought it was really cool. I liked how colorful it was. So we're going to go with this one. So we're going to do 50 minutes of reading. Hope you guys have a good time with it, or writing, whatever the case may be that you're doing. This should hopefully get a lot of people to get their stuff done, I would think. So let's see how everybody does. All right, 50 minutes of work and go. Okay, guys, that's been 50 minutes. That was a really nice long one. Hope you guys did all right with that. All right, let me see how much I ended up getting through. I got through a ton with that. I got 65 pages, I think. Yes, I think that's right. 65 pages. Oh boy, I'm basically almost at 300 pages. So I've read over 100 pages already with these sprints, working at 3 times speed on the audiobook. So I feel pretty good with that. Sounds awesome. Oh, okay. So give me 1 second. I just gotta like orient myself and figure out what the crap I'm gonna do. So we've got still about just over an hour of sprints. I would like you guys to know, though, if you are interested in doing more sprints after these are done, because I'll be getting done, like I said, about 5 o'clock my time, which is in about an hour and 5 minutes. There's an Oscar who's come back. Hello, my baba. Come here. Would you like to come say hi again? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Oh, my. Oh, he's so excited. He's very excited. Hi. Hi. No, you can't have my tissue. You say hi to everybody. Say hello. Oh, it's a good boy. Oh, okay. Bye. What? I don't know what his problem is. Oh, but he just closed the door on himself. Hold on. 1 second. I'm coming. Ah. There you go. There you go. Oh, he's such a sweetie. What? What is it, Baba? Oscar, what are you doing? Huh? What doing? He's got the zoomies apparently right now. Oh, I just love him. He's such a good boy. Anyway, okay, so what I was saying was, if you are interested in doing more sprints after these ones, because I will be getting done in about an hour, I would suggest that you guys go check out Castle Library's sprints, because she is currently sprinting now. She should be, at least. And she will be going for a few more hours. So if you have more time and want to get some more stuff done, please go over and watch her. She's super awesome. And you guys might have seen her in chat. Some of you might know her from having done the readathon that I was doing in January. So, oh no, over 100 pages in and wondering when something is going to happen. Yikes, that does not sound good. At 46% of 7 days in June, had the Kindle speech to text read it to me while cleaning the kitchen. Oh, that's awesome. I forgot that that's a function you can use instead of listening to the audiobook. I'm assuming, though, it's not as nice in terms of, like, it's not as, like, I don't know, like, I feel like the audiobook narration is, like, really ambiance-like, I guess, in a sense. And the text-to-speech, I don't know, like, does it sound okay? Like, does it actually seem like it's getting you to be interested in the story since you're doing cleaning? But yeah, so if you guys want to do some more sprints, please go and check out her channel. She's super awesome. She does essentially like more set reading sprints every time. So it's not like with mine. Mine are a little bit more randomized. She starts off with a 20-minute sprint. Then she does 4 30-minute sprints and then another 10-minute sprint as a cool down. So by the time that we end off here, she'll have been sprinting for a couple of hours, but you would still have at least 2.5 hours worth. Well, it's like total 2.5 hours. So you probably have like maybe an hour and a half of sprints, something along those lines, basically. It's hilarious hearing it say certain slang words is priceless. Oh, I'm sure. It probably sounds a lot like how Siri or Cortana or whatever would like do it, or like Alexa or something, you know. That actually sounds like really funny. I might want to try that myself one time, just for the heck of it. But yeah, so if you guys want to go check her out, just go look up Castle Library. Princess, she's got a sprint thing going on, so please go check her out. She's super awesome. I absolutely adore her. And her sprints are actually really fun too, because she usually gets a lot of people involved. And they're very entertaining, very, very entertaining sprints. I feel like I have a blast with them, truthfully. Like, and I just love Princess as a person in general. She's super, super awesome, super nice. She's incredibly, incredibly like intelligent, and she's just, I don't know. She's also like just, I don't know how to describe her. I just truthfully like, she's awesome. She's amazing. Like a really good friend of mine. So anyway, let's go ahead and do our next sprint. Oh no, I was worried I was gonna say that. I'm so sorry. I seriously said that and I was like, oh God, I really hope I didn't set off anybody's like systems by accident. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, I hate that. That sucks for me because I'm like, I don't mean to set off anybody's systems or anything. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and figure out what our next sprint is. This could be our last one, depending on how long it is, but we also could get through at least another 2, depending on, again, how long we end up going. So let's see what our first sprint for this next hour is going to be. Okay, so we are probably going to end off the sprints with this last one because we rolled a 9. There we go. Now you can see it without the flash of light. 9. So that means we have 45 minutes of reading, and then we'll cool off and say goodbye, and I'll check in with you guys on how you did overall today. So let me just get rid of all these other timers I no longer need, since this will be our last one. So this one's actually kind of cool. I like this one a lot just because I like the setup with it, where it like looks like, you know, one of those like little flipping clock things. If you've ever seen the show Lost, the timer that they have in that, it reminds me of this. So, alrighty. So we're going to go ahead 45 minutes, last sprint for today. Hope you guys get your reading done. Hopefully you end up finishing up whatever it is you need to do today. If not, that's okay. Like I said, go ahead and check out Princess's Sprints. I'm probably going to be hopping over there just to kind of hang out while I cook dinner and stuff and listen to more of my book. So yeah. Anyway, I will speak to you guys at the end of this sprint. Go on ahead. There you go. Okay, everybody, that is it. That is the end of that last sprint. Oh, okay. I think I got through 61 pages was the math I had done. I am now on page 360. So I have read, let's see, I was on 175 when I started. So I've read almost 200 pages. Like I've read 284 pages, I think, total. Or 184 pages total. That's what I meant. I think that's pretty good. I mean, again, reading it on 3 times speed, you get through it a lot quicker, and I should be reading more of this tonight. So I think I'll be able to get a lot of it done today, which is very exciting. So 53% of 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. No cleaning that sprint. Hey, you didn't have to do any cleaning. That's awesome. Super happy for you. Hope that goes well. And before I forget, if you guys are interested in it, I'll bring up Princess's Sprints for you guys. I will share the link for it so that you guys can go hang out with her, with me, because I'm going to hop in there and just listen to her while we're there. So if you go into the chat, this link right here, this link is going to lead you to Princess's Sprints. And like I said, she'll be doing sprints for a good portion of the next couple of hours. She's been doing them for almost 2 hours now, so I think she should be still on for another 2. And I don't know what exactly they're at right now in terms of the sprints, like what they just did or what they just finished, but highly recommend you go check her out. She's super awesome. Her videos are very, very cool. I love her TBRs that she does every month. And she's got a new series coming out that basically is with her husband, where they do a lot of stuff involving gaming and books. So really fun. I enjoy hanging out with her immensely. So anyway, that's going to basically be it for me today. I hope you guys had a good day today with your sprints. I hope that you all continue to do well. If I see you over at Princess's Sprints, hope you continue to do well with your reading and stuff. Hope that it all goes well. I hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to get through more of this today. But I think I'm going to go take a shower first, and then I'll hop in, and then I'm going to get dinner started. So I probably won't be on there for about another 20 minutes. But, you know, I'll at least be listening for a little while or later today. So finished a book and read a good portion of the second book. I love it. That makes me so excited. And I hope that, especially since you're over halfway done with your second one, that you can get at least 3/4 of it done tomorrow. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And like I said, feel free to go hang out with Princess because she's pretty awesome too. So anyway, I will see all of you guys next Saturday for sure. We will do it on Saturday in the evening. So please feel free to come join me that day because it's going to be a lot of fun. I always like doing these on Saturdays. So, and today was just the random Sunday because I didn't have time last night to do sprints. So anyway, I will see all of you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.